All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're going to be talking about the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, folks, even though they lost to the Miami Dolphins on the road, the 8-3 Miami Dolphins, I add, I love what Antonio Pierce, I love what he's doing. I love the current vibe of the Las Vegas Raiders, and I'm very excited about the future here, folks. I don't care how many wins the Raiders get at the end of the season. I don't really care what draft pick they end up getting, because all I care about with this Raiders team is getting back on track, getting that momentum going. And I gotta say, for all of the BS that the Las Vegas Raiders went through in the year and a half or so tenure with Josh McDaniels, the fact that this team has been able to rally and come together as a group, come together as a team under Antonio Pierce, 2-1 in his 3 games thus far as the head coach. I love it. I just genuinely love it. There are things right now, like the Las Vegas Raiders, they have a good roster. All right. Is Aiden O'Connell the quarterback of the future? I'm not sure. We'll know a lot more by the end of the season. He's a little bit turnover prone, but for a rookie, a late draft selected rookie who basically was just kind of thrown on in here, I think he's done a spectacular job. All right. All things considered, I love what the Las Vegas Raiders are doing right now. And Antonio Pierce is the perfect man's man. He's a dude's dude. And I think these players really respect him. It would have been so easy for this team at honestly any point in the regular season, especially with Josh McDaniels, to just quit, to throw in the towel, to just be like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. So tonight we're going to be talking about the Las Vegas Raiders. But before we do, guys, if you enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button. Raiders fans, if we could try and get this video to 250 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. So it was cool. After the first quarter this past Sunday, the Raiders on the road against a great team in the Minnesota Dolphins, who were 7-3 at the time, they were winning. They were up 10-7. Now, I know it's not perfect. I know it's not sexy. Aiden O'Connell ended up throwing 3 interceptions, but hey, that was a hard-fought game. And I got to say, this defense has impressed me so much this season. We said it on this channel before the season began. Max Crosby, I loved the addition of Marcus Peters. Double D. I thought the Raiders were going to be at least a middle-of-the-pack defense. And I got to say, all season, they've fought really hard. Currently, they are the 12th best defense in the National Football League. They're giving up about 20 points per game, and it's only going to improve. All right, it's only going to improve. I know the whole Tyree Wilson situation doesn't look great, but it's a marathon, not a sprint. Keep that defense young, keep them cheap, and go out there and get stars through the draft or through free agency. That's all going to remain, we'll wait and see once the offseason hits. But the fact still remains, the fact that they were able to just hold on to that game. I mean, the Miami Dolphins put up 70 points against the Denver Broncos a couple of months ago. Tua, Hill, Waddle. I mean, they've got stud after stud after stud on that offense. They held them to 20 points. They held them to only 6 points in the second half. Now, unfortunately, the offense wasn't able to get any points on the board. But like I'm saying, man, this team has so much talent. There's so much talent here that I'm just glad that right now, as it stands, the Las Vegas Raiders have an above-average defense. That's something you cannot say statistically in like the last 20 or so years. Like literally 20 or so years, the Las Vegas Raiders have had a below-average defense. That just doesn't cut it for me. So defensively, I love it. I love these young guys. I love what they've been doing. I love how hard they're playing, and they're only getting better. But when we take a look at the offense, man, there's so much talent. I know Josh Jacobs hasn't had a great season thus far, but honestly, the Raiders offense, whether it was Jimmy G as the quarterback, Brian Hoyer as the quarterback, Aiden O'Connell, whether McDaniels was the head coach, whether Antonio Pierce is the head coach, it doesn't really matter, because the Las Vegas Raiders offense this season has yet to really get going. They're only putting up 16.8 points per game. That's 6th to last in the National Football League. But I have Josh Jacobs, all right? I have, in my opinion, one of the most intriguing and one of the most talented wide receiver / tight end groups in the league. It took, honestly, what felt like the firing of Josh McDaniels to finally get Michael Mayer going. I mean, Michael's a stud tight end. He was selected where he was selected for a very specific reason. Get him more involved. End his rookie season on a high note, and that's exactly what we've seen. 4 catches for 46 yards this past weekend. He got his first NFL touchdown pass against the Jets. I think by the end of the year, Michael will have established himself as, a young rising tight end in the league, as he is and as he should be. But man, I've got Davante Adams, top 3 undisputed wide receiver in the National Football League. I've got Jakobi Meyers, who's just a perfect complementary wide receiver number 2. Hunter Renfro's still on my team. I don't know what his future with the Raiders is, but I love guys like Trey Tucker. The amount of speed this dude has, I'm liking, we haven't seen too much of him. Against Miami, he saw 7 targets, which was a career high. He had 2 catches for 36 yards. Against the Giants, he had 2 catches for 52 yards. Trey Tucker and Michael Mayer are 2 players that I've just got pinpointed for the rest of the season as, let's get these rookies going, right? Let's get their confidence. Let's get their morale high so that, in their sophomore campaign, when the Raiders have a little bit more rounded out roster, that they're ready to go, all right? So let's talk about Aidan O'Connell here. Now, I don't really know what the future stands with the Las Vegas Raiders quarterback position. I don't really know, if Aidan O'Connell's the guy. I like Aidan. I think he's done a really good job. He's got a 62.1 completion percentage. He's only thrown for 157 yards per game. He only has 3 touchdowns. He does has 6 interceptions, but that's a little bit skewed thanks to Jalen Ramsey and that Miami Dolphins defense. But he's 25 years old. He can play. He certainly can play. He certainly works hard. So, I'm giving him the rest of the season at least here. Obviously that's, kind of what they're doing and what they should do. But, as far as next year's quarterback, next year's head coach, these aren't really things I'm all that worried about just because, like I said at the beginning of the video, I love the current momentum that the Raiders have right now. And it reminds me similarly of 2 years ago, when they rallied for 4 straight victories after the firing of Gruden. You went 10-7. You almost took down actually the Cincinnati Bengals, that team who made the Super Bowl. I just want momentum back on the Raiders side. And I think, we're about a month removed of the firing of Josh McDaniels. It truly is a night and day difference. And these guys love Antonio Pierce, and Antonio Pierce clearly loves his players. And that's what I want more of. So, is the head coach going to be Antonio Pierce next season? He's going to get, a legitimate contract. I don't know. Is Aidan O'Connell going to be the guy? I don't know. I think, a lot of things go into that. I think honestly, Pierce is my guy. Unless the Raiders can actually go out there and get Harbaugh, I'd go out there and get Harbaugh. But these are things I'm not worried about. We still have a third of the season left. You've still got Kansas City 2 more times. I don't anticipate, the Raiders are some way, somehow, with all the turmoil they've been through this season, they're some way, somehow sitting here at 5-6. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to beat the Chiefs tomorrow. But if they can play a competitive game like they did against Miami this past weekend, I will be happy. I will be satisfied and also take a better draft pick while we're at it. So that's it for tonight, man. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button. But Raiders fans, let me know what you guys are thinking about the current state of your team down below. Peace.